All right, welcome back. I believe we're back up and running. Apologies for the delay. Looks like the server that I proxy my stream through was having a really bad day. But we're back. A couple of pros. There we go. There we go. All right, so YouTube's happy, Twitch is happy, live coding is happy, I'm happy, you're happy. There's so much happy going around. Okay, cool, awesome. There we go. We got things going on. What we're going to do today, as I was trying to say earlier, this is what we got going on. We have, there we go. This is what I got going on. We have our app up and running. It's a note sketch app of sorts. It has pencil support. So this is a pencil, right? Great. What we ran into yesterday is when you import a photo, you should be able to write on it, right? And then when you move the photo, the ink moves with the photo. And so what we ran into yesterday is as we were building the highlighter, when we built the highlighter, it was not clipping that correctly. But now it's doing a really good job because we fixed it. We fixed it. But the thing we did not fix was the texture for the highlighter. We got it done, but just barely because I had to go right at 3 a.m. So today we're going to clean up yesterday's code, and then there's a couple other tasks on the list that we might get to. But let's look first at what our code from yesterday looked like. Put my console up here. And we'll go from there, right? How's everybody's day? Everybody having a good day? I think we're having a good day. Here, yeah, it was just, let's squash those real quick. Base I. We can look at all of yesterday's, that ugly commit yesterday together. All right, so here, big commit, and we also had some commits inside of our submodule. So what I would like to do is that. So now we have an extra branch, just a filler branch, so we don't lose that commit. Reset head. Get those back as pending edits, and then same here. Get branch foobar, and get reset head 1. Okay, cool. Now all of our edits will be visible inside of the Xcode, and we can see how much damage we did. All right. Making sure after that ridiculousness, the stream is still happy. We're good. You're good, we're good. Okay, cool. All right, let's get a font size that you guys can see as well. That's a little bit better. Okay, as I recall, the core of the issue yesterday was a couple things. We had an issue with the texture. So the texture for the highlighter is currently the exact same, it's just a circle. And that's true for, I don't know if you can see those, but those are circles, I will promise you. So every one of those textures is the exact same for the pen, the marker, and the highlighter. They're all using a circle. But the highlighter is supposed to be using something that's more of an oval. It actually has a little bit of more opacity on that side. It matches the notes application highlighter texture. And so that's what we want to do this time also, is fix that texture so it works correctly. Now, part of the issue, the reason it was not drawing correctly yesterday was because step width equals, there were a couple places like here. These properties were not getting set when we split a stroke element. So when I'm drawing over an image and I have a marker and I draw it across like that, what I need to be able to do is, this is actually like a couple different, we'll just say that it's however many that is, 2, 4, 5 different elements. So what I also need to be able to do is find which of these elements, this guy right here and this guy right here, intersect the edge of the photo, and then bisect it right here, right at the edge, so that way this, and this are all different pieces. And so the problem we ran into yesterday was twofold. The first problem was that the way we were managing the texture for the highlighter was just broken. But then after we fixed the texture problem, we were also, once we split this image, or this piece of the stroke out, we were not setting the properties correctly for its rotation and its step, so it ended up just drawing completely blank. And so it would just disappear, and we'd only actually see these pieces on the end, right? So that's what we want to do today, is keep the fix we made from yesterday, but then also restore the texture changes that we lost from yesterday from our fix. So that's our goal. Dark Fury, good to see you again, sir. Glad to have you back. Continue our adventure from yesterday. All right, so let's look at a couple different things. Texture stuff is at the top, so that means we're going to start at the bottom and make sure that all of these edits look correct. Yeah, so here's what I'm talking about. So here we just need to set our step width and our rotation. That way that element knows how to draw, knows how to render on screen correctly. Pass those in, so that looks good. This looks good. Same story here, it's just passing along that rotation info. That's great. That's great. This stuff, what did this file do? Here, same kind of thing, same kind of thing. Oh yeah, that's just the draw timers. This is debug code. So that's okay. This is also inside of the debug code. Yep, that's only debug code that was updated. That's fine. And here, we'll add elements to stroke. So we added a, oops, is that not? No, it just looks like it was. That was broken out in multiple lines. Yeah, so we added that guy. We must have gotten, yeah, because this guy has the texture info on it, so we need to pass that texture info through. Good. Same story here. And same story here. It passes that rotation through. Passes the rotation. Yep. Got paper stack. Feels good. Element step width and element rotation. Yeah, and then here's where we use that texture from the stroke. So that's good. And then we pass our rotation and our step. That feels right. Now here, editable paper. Yep, same story. Same story. All this is feeling really good so far. No refactor needed, no refactor needed, no refactor needed. Grigorich, welcome to the room, man. Welcome to the stream. We're doing some work today. We're doing the work. All right, yep, we passed in the texture. Hello, Dark Fury. Good to see you, man. You working again? Doing the work? Weren't you working yesterday? I think you were working yesterday. Okay, let's go here. Yep, just passing those on, that's fine. So that means everything inside of our loose leaf project is happy. Now we need to double check what's going on in our Jot project. Broken info, it's great. This guy's gonna have some interesting stuff, I think. Oh, I was just gonna say, I thought you were watching the stream from work yesterday. Just asking if you were still working. Still getting stuff done, being productive. This exception we're gonna leave in because if it happens again, we're gonna need to know that it happened again. This is a good. Oh, nice, nice. You're free. Good deal. This is a good just sanity check. Make sure we're doing the right business. Then we just pass it on. That's okay. That view, that's okay. Got state. Here we go. We're just passing the step width and rotation. That looks right. Happy with that. Is that all that guy does? Yep. Curve to path. Yeah, so this is another sanity check. So what we can actually do is we'll just assert that is greater than or equal to 0. Must be larger than 0. All right, and so there's our sanity check for that. Jot stroke. We don't have a texture. Let's keep this exception. And you know what? We're actually going to. Asserts are nice, but I like exceptions better. If it's less than 0, then we want a memory exception. There we go. Great. I like that better. It came from the Java world, and in Java, everything was exceptions. It just makes me feel nice and cozy when I have an exception. Texture exception. Stroke must have a texture set. Texture for stroke is nil, right? It's a good description. Live coding support. How are you doing? All right, so here's the business. This is the business right here. We need to pass in our texture there to the shared brush texture, right? Same story here. This guy can be completely reverted. It's true. Everybody feels good. So Jot default brush texture. I think that's okay. That's okay. This is going to be okay as well. Here, brush texture, because down here, Yeah. I want to make some tea. All done. Yeah, I don't have coffee today. I have, well, it's 1 a.m. It's 1:20 a.m. But I can't do caffeine. So instead of caffeine, I've got a Canadian blended whiskey sitting next to me and a glass of water. The tea actually sounds really good. I think a nice hot tea would put me to sleep, though. I would not be half as productive if I did that. How's the audio sound? I can't remember if I put on the noise filter. I hope my laptop fan isn't destroying your ears right now. All right, let's fire it up. Oh, that's what's going on. I just screwed up my second monitor. Let's try that again. I'm using an iPad as a second monitor next to me, and I just launched the app right to that monitor. Oops. Launching Duet. There it goes. There it goes, and it saved all my windows. That's nice. Everybody likes that. Kag, I assume is your name. Welcome, sir. Welcome to the stream. All right, do we have a texture? Who wants to make a bet? All right, here is our highlighter. Thought I made it blue. Let's make it blue. Oh, we have so much texture going on. Look at that. A nice highlightery texture. Boom. I like it. Beautiful. Marker. Marker's still happy. Pen is still happy. When we draw on a picture, we can still draw on a picture with a pen, with a marker, and with a highlighter. Awesome. Looks good. I like it. From China. You're from China. Looks like the kilobits is too low. But you're still watching. Cool. Well, thanks for watching, man. I'm doing my best. If the live coding support folks are still here, maybe they can give me some advice or use some advice on China and how we can make that stream work better for you. But I'm happy about this. We got much tidier commit. We fixed our textures, so git commit. Fixes, drawing. Actually, it would be clipping strokes across scraps. That's a good enough description of what it is. 1572. Awesome. All right, cool. And I think that puts the highlighter to bed. I think that's it. Wonkit, welcome to the stream, man. Glad to have you on board. Sorry, I don't understand what you said. I just said I hope that live coding support tells me what I'm doing wrong, so you have a better stream. Or tells you what you can do to have a better stream. But otherwise, I have no idea. So we finished this. We finished this just now. Our highlighter is back in action. Looks good. We have a nice texture. I like a lot. That looks really, really good. I'm really, really happy with that. That's awesome. So the other thing that we want to do after this is we have a couple different options. The scrap background disappears. This is an interesting bug. I'll show you that one in a second. We can do palm rejection. So learn English, I'll be better. Cool. We'll watch the stream. Hopefully it helps you. That would be awesome. Helps you learn English. There's if we rest the palm. I had trouble reproducing this one yesterday. But as we're drawing with our pen, those are all pen strokes. I'm resting my wrist on the iPad screen, but it's not, the palm rejection's super good with the pencil. Apple did such a good job that it's difficult for me to reproduce. There's one right there, you see that? This guy, that was my palm. That was about one, there's two. So it's like 1 out of every 20 times I put my hand down on the screen, something happens. So we could, Chinese looks awesome, but I have no idea what that means, man. That's really great. So yeah, so that's an option. We could try to reproduce this more and more and do some palm rejection. I think that would be nice. That's on the functional side of things. On the feature side, actually I want to look up one more. Multiple stack. Support multiple stacks. So what that means is right now there's just one list of pages on the screen and that's it. And so it's just one giant list. It's just scratch paper. And oh, you said hello. That's awesome. That's so cool. That's really cool. So yeah, we could do multiple stacks, right? Where this is one stack of papers, this is one giant multi-page document, and we could make it support multiple of these, so users could organize their life better. So that's another thing we could do. We could try and start tonight. What we started yesterday was this guy, a screenshots album. So when you're in here and you're importing, you can import from the camera roll, from your photo albums, from faces that you've imported, which I haven't, places that you've imported, which I haven't, or PDFs. And so we could basically like replace this places icon with a screenshots icon and have it load an album of just screenshots you've taken from your phone or from your iPad or what have you. So that's another option. Or I don't think I want to do these. These will be fun, but probably for a different stream. Arrow scraps. And so in that same menu, in the import menu, we could have it, right now it's just importing photos, right? But we support arbitrarily shaped scraps, so it can be any sort of shape at all. So I could make a default album of arrows and different handy shapes, or this one was a default album of emojis, and so we could easily import an emoji scrap, and then you could draw on top of the emoji face, which would be kind of fun. So that's another option. If y'all care one way or the other, let me know. Otherwise, I think I'm going to try to do this one, because this is the one that I think is going to be most valuable. I'm going to show you the scrap background one though, because it's a strange bug, and I'd love to know if any of you have seen it before. So here's our marker, right? We create a scrap, pretty good. I cut out a piece of the base page, and I have a white scrap that I can move around. And then I can draw on it and move it around just like a photo. But what I found is when I pinch in, yeah, so when it gets really large, that white background just disappears. And I'm not sure why. It's strange to me. That white background is actually a CA layer. It's just a filled CA layer, and it looks like once it gets beyond, so here it is, I can get, it's not the zoom level, it's that it thinks, it's when that zoom level, oops, it's when the scrap hits both edges of the screen, it looks like it disappears. Which doesn't make sense to me. So anyway, that's a bug. It's pretty interesting, but it's definitely a bug. But I figure it's rare enough that people are going to zoom in that far that I care less about it right now. I definitely need to fix it before launch, but I would rather build a new feature than nerd around on some bugs. And so let's try and build a feature today. So we're going to call this multiple stacks feature. Pretty good. And we're going to, my thought is to simply add a bar at the top of the screen, right? At the very, very top where those pages are going up. It's just going to be a small bar that shows different stacks, and then you can swipe that top bar left and right, or you can swipe the document up and down, right? I think that's how I want to handle it. So let's try and do it that way, right? Let's go to, oh yeah, we don't have any edits anymore, obviously. Status, yep, yeah, this guy not actually modified, even though it thinks it is. Yep, that's Xcode's really terrible Git integration. Fine. All right, scrap paper stack view. So I think this Ying Klin, welcome to the room. Thanks for hanging out. Scrapped paper stack view. Let's look at all of our files. Categories, supporting files. Okay, our list paper stack view. I think we want to do it here inside of the list. So what we're going to do is have a UI scroll view list of stacks view, right? Look, init, we're just going to make it really simple to find right now. Color, red color, CG color, it's fine. Border width equals 4, right? Feels good. And now we're going to add it to, we want to add it above everything. So we'll put it down here. That. And we should just launch and see a red square on the screen now, I believe, right? I wonder if we can actually, let's go ahead and make it vaguely the correct size. We'll make it half a row tall. Screen width wide. Oh, good. Yeah, I'm glad you like the chat notification. So that source code, if you want to poke at the chat notification, if any of you guys stream, the code for that is on my GitHub profile. So you can just click down there and go find it. I think it's called Chat View, creatively named. So you can try it out. Let's do that and see what it looks like when we launch. We should have just a red square, a red rectangle right up at the top. Yeah, success. So that is where our stacks are going to be. We might want to make it so when I pinch out, it disappears, which is not helpful. That means it's not actually above everything it needs to be above. It might, well, is it? Yeah, so it goes down. So why would it not be? Why would it be disappearing, do we think? Somebody else is either getting added on top of it or, oh, I know exactly why. That's really funny. I know exactly where it is, where it lives. Because the paper stack view is a scroll view. Yeah. So that is the business right there. And so what's happening is it's still there, but it's just way up here at the top. And there it is up at the top. So what we need to do is when we pop into list view, and as we scroll, we need to keep it in the correct location, right? So that will be an important piece of business. So let's go down to, that would be finish transition to list view, what we want. I think that's what we want. Finish UI transition to list view. That's in step 3, which happens on completion. Yes. We might. I think we want to animate it in step 2 and then set its location correctly in step 3. Yes, that is what we want to do. Alpha equals 1. And then in step 3, yep. So in step 3, we want to list view dot frame. Oops. Frame equals frame.origin.y equals self.content offset.y. So this should put it in the correct place, which I like. And then we need to do the opposite thing here, finish transition to page view. We want its location to be set back to the top to 0. And we also want to animate it out properly. So in step 3, here we go, list of stacks.alpha is 0. I think that's okay. Web dev, join the room. Welcome to the room. And Orafil, hope I didn't butcher your name terribly bad, but welcome to the room. All right, so I think that's going to do what we want. So what should happen now when we run this test is it's going to start up. We're going to see the red rectangle because I forgot to hide it at startup. When I pinch to list view, it's going to stay on the top. It might move around a little bit if I scroll the list, but it'll be essentially at the top of the page. And then when I zoom into the page view, it'll disappear, right? So we go here. It stayed where it was supposed to, which is great. It does scroll because I haven't fixed that yet. And then when I zoom in, it fades out, which looks great. And then it fades in, fades out, fades in, fades out. Okay, awesome. Halfway there, halfway there. So finish transition to list view. We're going to call this self update y offset for list of stacks view, creatively named. Void update y offset for list of stacks view. I think you all can tell from that method name why I love Objective-C. Because verbose method names mean less confusing code to read, even though it's really, really wordy. Where do I want to put this? I want to put this method in probably other helpers, I think would be a fine place to put it. Yep. And then I want ScrollView did scroll. Where's my ScrollView delegate methods? We tap ScrollView, and that's it, really. Did scroll. ScrollView did scroll. Yeah, huh. That's really funny. The only class that actually scrolls that scroll view doesn't get the message about it scrolling, which is amusing. There we go, awesome. Restovirus, welcome to the stream. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you for hanging out. Double stack pay-per-view. The UI scroll view delegate happens here, and I'm going to make it happen in the list paper stack view. I'm going to make it happen here. Means somewhere in here we have a self.delegate. Well, self, we're going to move that guy to this init. And one thing that I do sometimes, which is probably bad form, is I overwrite that delegate setter. So let's see if I did that here. No, I didn't. Okay, that's good. Sometimes I override that delegate to call the delegate methods when the delegate gets set. So that way when you create a new, when you set the delegate the first time, it gets its methods called immediately, so it kind of initializes everybody right when you set the delegate. It's probably an anti-pattern, but that's what we do. All right, and then ScrollView did scroll. And then here we need a ScrollView did scroll, pragma mark, ScrollView delegate. Self update y offset. Okay. So now it should stay put when we scroll, and things should scroll under it. Let's make sure that's true. Oh man, it is 1:40 in the morning for me right now. 1:40 in the morning. Jay, welcome to the stream. Thank you for hanging out. Okay, so there it is at the top of our screen. As we scroll, it stays put, which we feel good about. And then when we zoom into the page, it disappears. Okay, cool. Now we need to, when we initialize, we're going to initialize in page view. And I'm not sure where we guarantee that we initialize in page view. Let's go to, I think it's okay. I think we'll just do it here. All right. You like the IDE? Oh, thanks, man. It's just Xcode. Just Xcode. I might have customized the colors, but I don't think I did. Maybe I did. So now it should start up, and it should not see the red rectangle. This is an interesting problem that I just thought of. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's pinch. Yep. Looks good. Looks good. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, because it yep, because we changed the texture. So now it's okay. Yeah. Cool. So here's my thought, right? So here's what's messing up my brain. I might want to put this stack controller outside of the stack view, inside of the main view controller, because each stack is then going to get its own stack controller, right? Because the problem is, if I have it inside of here, I don't want to reload inside of this one controller because it was built explicitly for one set of documents. It's gonna dramatically complicate life and mix those two pieces of code. So I want to just reuse this as, just create a new one of these classes for every list that we make, which means I need this container needs to be inside of the main controller, which would be fine. But then there's some aspects of this list container that I'm going to want to share. And to give you an example, if we open up one of these with a picture, you can toss a photo into the sidebar, right? And so if I toss it into the sidebar, pinch, change to a different list, to a different document, and open it up, I still want that same sidebar, right? And now, here it goes. That might have been the texture bug that I have. Yeah. Yeah, it might have been. There's that. There's that. Okay. Now it's okay. Oh, here we go. This is a good one. Oh, it's not even on screen. Sorry about that. So right now I'm pinching, but it's not actually pinching. And I'm not sure why, but now that I'm attached to a debugger, I want to figure out how to see. Oh, now it's pinching. I don't know. Orphil, thanks for the new thanks for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Yeah. I don't know. Now it's pinching. Now it's pinching just fine. So I have no idea. I have no idea what the business is. Huh. I'm going to chalk that up to the texture issue. So there's an issue with, I keep saying texture issue, not explaining it. So there's an issue with how the iPad Pro loads, rather reads textures off of the GPU into CPU memory. There's a method called GL read pixels. So when I'm saving a page, I draw, I render everything to a texture in OpenGL, and then later on in a background queue, in a background thread in CPU land, I ask OpenGL and I call that one method. It's GL read pixels, and I pull the pixels out of the GPU. That works great on every iPad except the iPad Pro for whatever reason. But since I've migrated to OpenGL 2 instead of OpenGL 1, it was on OpenGL ES 1.1, and 2 or 3 months ago I updated to OpenGL ES 2, and that has what's it called, texture something, texture sets, texture loading, I don't know, but anyway, it's a better, faster, stronger way to push textures in and out of OpenGL. So I think that's going to solve the speed problem that I have. From what I've read, it's significantly faster than the geo repixels that I was using. What OpenGL version, iOS and OS X support. OpenGL 3, I believe. 3 is a thing, right? OpenGL ES3, I think is correct. And instead of OpenGL, all versions till 4.5. iOS, I think, is only up until OpenGL 3. OS 10 probably has 4.5 support, would assume. But it sounds like they're trying to move people to Metal, which is their new Apple framework, which, as I understand it, replaces OpenGL for those calls. And so instead of doing OpenGL calls to talk to the GPU, you talk directly to the Metal framework, and that talks to the GPU. So I think that's the direction they're going long term, but I have not looked at the Metal framework at all yet. So don't quote me on that. Okay, yeah, I think what we're going to do, I think we're going to move this list box right here, this red list box. I think we are going to move that to the main controller. The Vulkan API, good question. I have only heard about the Vulkan API, and that is the extent of my knowledge. So I know it exists. I know people are excited about it, but I know nothing about it beyond that. I really don't know. I think a lot of people think it looks good from what I read, from what I heard other people say, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Je ne sais. All right, loose leaf controller. We're going to put this guy in here. Same story. Let's pull him out and put him in here. Yep. Oh, the delete sidebar lives there. That's handy. All right, screen width. How do we get that? Okay, that's fine. So self.view.bounds.size.width, and we'll make it 120, right? Because that feels like a good number. You're gonna go eat for a little bit. I don't understand why Apple will apply it to their OS. Will apply what to their OS? The Vulkan API? I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know either. Maybe they will. Maybe they, or maybe they won't. Maybe that's what you're saying is they definitely won't. All right, list. Let's go to here where we add it as a subview, which is what we want. So in our main controller, down here at the bottom, we add our subview, which feels good. So it's blank, and then in our list, we have finish transition to page view. And what I think we're going to want to do is our delegate is a paper stack delegate, I believe, right? List of stacks view. Maybe we don't have a delegate because we don't actually need one. Could have sworn we did. Well, we do now. I'll tell you that right now. I'll tell you that. We're going to build it. That is going to be a protocol. Oops, it's not going to be a protocol because I spelled it wrong. There we go. Cool, see you, Keg. Keg. Bye, Keg. So I have an uncle, not an uncle, he's a cousin-in-law. Is that what you call the spouse of a cousin? Whose name is Craig. And my daughter when she was 2 years old, couldn't pronounce Craig. And so she would pronounce it Cag. Cag. And so whenever she saw Craig, she would say Cag. It was pretty great. Pretty great. It's going to be a week because it's a delegate. And then paper BackViewDelegate, I think would be a good thing to call it. BackViewDelegate. Go. Cool. And now we need our controller to implement that protocol. So we're going to do that real quickly. Interface, and then loose leaf controller. There we go. And then our stack view is us. Feels good. And we'll put all those methods down here at the bottom. There we go. Great. Now we need to decide what we want this protocol to have. And we want this protocol to have all the things it needs to, we don't need to change the frame anymore, so that actually doesn't matter. We need it to know when it's animating from the page view, just here. Finish scaling really small, so this is animating to list view, right? Delegate animating to list view is what we will call that, creatively enough. Animating to list view. And down here, void animating to list view, and we'll turn our controller on. And then the other thing we want is the opposite of that, just here. Wait, why are you angry? Right there. Why are you angry? Click the method after prototype. Somebody, I screwed something up over here. Oh, I bet I have a, I bet that's what it is. I have a circular business going on. Paper stack view. So the delegate doesn't import anybody. So this should be fine to import that. That's probably what I did wrong. Why does it? Oh yeah, I'm in the wrong place. Sorry, my brain is just not working. All right, so now that's okay. Auto property synthesis, yeah, that's fair. Now you're complaining about that, so that makes sense. Okay, now we're back. We're back in the business. Cool. It says property is incompatible. Inherited from UI ScrollView. Oh, yeah, it would be. ScrollViewDelegate, right? So, okay, so that's a problem. I didn't realize that. So I want this actually, that could be an object. This is going to be called stackDelegate. That was my problem. That was my problem. Because I forget that that class is a UI scroll view at its base. So Acer0741, welcome to the stream. Synthesize, great. And so this is going to be a stackDelegate. Makes sense. And so that means here in our list paper stack view, we do want the actual scroll view delegate to stay there. That's fine. And then the stack delegate will be animating to list view. There we go. Now we're in the business. Okay, that guy, that method we don't care about. And this guy we don't care about. Actually, that guy I think we care about. Animated to list view is what we can call that. No, because that's only adjusting the Y offset, so we don't need that actually. Scroll view, we don't need that. And then this guy is going to be animating to page view, right? Yep, that is right. We come here, we go list of stacks view, alpha equals 0, pretty good. Still not quite compiled. And oh, I forgot to put it in the delegate. It's here. That finishes that business up. Okay, so now we should have the exact same thing, except now that little red square container is controlled by the top root view controller instead of being controlled by the scroll view itself, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so that means we don't need the scroll view did scroll. I'm going to put it there anyway. So where did our scroll view delegate go? It was right here. Void scroll view did scroll. All right, that's going to be a no op, but we're going to keep it there for clarity, right? And just for so that way we know who the root delegate is for the scroll view. Okay, so now we pinch. It scrolls underneath just like it should. We zoom up and it fades out just like it should. Cool. Feels pretty good. Get rid of some of those pages. Delete, delete, delete. Delete, delete, delete. Great. I mean, not like that's super tidy anyway, but it's a little better. Now in here, this is just a Cog. Welcome back, Cog. I'm going to call you Cog. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but it sounds awesome. All right, so here's our paper stack. Here's our controller. So we're going to have a stack controller. So this is going to be called Avanton, welcome, welcome to the chat. Stack controller view, UI scroll view. Yes, that's what we care about, right? And now instead of a UI scroll view, you're going to be one of these. Go. And let's just save our progress. Stack controller view. Yep, let's add both of those. Okay. Starting to handle multiple stacks. And this is going to be 44. 44, man. That means that bug, yeah, you see that? Look at that. Opened in 2013. June 2013. Man. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Cool. All right, so what do we want to do? We want that thing to page left and right, I think. When we're in list view, it's too short for one. Let's make it a little bit taller. Make it 220, right? It needs an opaque background. Color, black color, color with alpha, 0.8. And we'll get rid of the red border because that's ridiculous. Cool. "88 is Chinese for goodbye." Interesting. I had no idea. Like a shorthand. That's cool. All right, so it's a little bit taller now, and it's black, so it fades underneath. You'd probably make it even a little bit more opaque than that, so 0.92. Oh, it's null. It's stupid. Gotta restart Xcode. Gotta restart Xcode when that happens. And then what I would like to do which is hopefully not difficult to do. So here's where we create a stack. Create a stack, we add a delegate, we set the delete sidebar, set the location, allocate export view, export animation helper, and then it loads it from disk, and then that's it. So that means it's just this block of code right here loads a stack of pages, which is a super, super small piece of code. So here's what it looks like now with a much darker top. I think that's good, and then we can have the stacks up there inside of that bar. I might have it react to scrolling, kind of like the Safari title bar does, but I don't want to deal with that right now. I don't care. So load stacks from disk. This probably has a path in it somewhere. Stack manager. Where's that stack manager defined? Creates a new visible stack, hidden stack, bezel stack. Fine. Load from disk. Yeah. And so here is where plist is. Okay. Let me show you that real quick and we'll just talk through it. I want to show you the file structure of the app. Show container, that way you don't have to download the whole thing. Or we'll download the whole thing because that'll take just as long probably. Downloads, we'll just put it there. So we have a couple different ways to do this, and I think I know which way I want to do it. So we could put everything about an entire stack inside of its own subfolder. So that way every stack has its own folder, right? That's one option. The other option is that everything is in the same folder, no matter what. And so the benefit of different folders is it makes it very, very clear what's inside of a stack and what isn't. And that clarity is probably a really good thing. The benefit of not being in a different folder is that you can, it's a little bit easier to share resources because they're all in the same place, right? So you don't have to have pointers hanging around to all 1,000 different folders. So here's how I store pages. Pages are just each in their own folder, and then inside of that folder, here's all the information about a page, right? Great. This file and this file determine what this guy and this guy basically determine what a stack is. So what I could do is I could say stacks, right? And I could put these guys inside of the stack, and I could call this stack 1, right? And these are in stack 1, and then I could similarly have I can't do that. I could have a stack 2 and a stack 3 and a stack 4, right? And so then that way, that's how I could handle multiple documents. And then they all have their own plist file, and this plist file just points to, well, it's empty. That's stupid. Let's go to let's go to the visible pages. That's where it has everything, right? And so it shows which page ID is inside of that stack. And so then they would all share the same set of page IDs, which means that might be a good thing. It might be a bad thing. It would be a bad thing because it would not be clear at all from the file structure which pages are in which stack, which might be important. So the other option is to do this, right? And then have a pages folder inside of the stack, and the bezel would be shared, CloudKit is shared, inbox is shared, PDF cache is probably shared, and inbox is shared. But then these are separate. And now that I'm looking at it on disk, I think this is how I want it right here. Test PNG, I don't care about that. Yeah, I think that's what I want, right? Which means a couple different things. It means, let's document this a little bit. So we're just going to take a picture of that. So new file structure inside the apps documents directory. That's what we want it to look like. And the goal, the anchor is really handsome. Kind of website pronunciation. I think I missed something in the chat. So then what we're going to do is at startup, upgrade the file structure to the new structure if needed. That involves create a new oh, and what we might actually also need is here, this would be a stacks.plist potentially. That feels ugly. I think we can just prefix it with stack and then have a UDID. I think that's fine. A new folder, which is stack UDID. Move the visible hidden plist into that folder. And then load the stack as normal, right? So I think we do want to create a stacks.plist, and this is going to be the guy that preserves the order of the stacks in the UI. What else do we want to do? We want to update the stack manager to load from an arbitrary folder. Oh, and we also want to move the pages directory into that new stack directory. Right? Cool. Create stacks plist, preserve the order of the stacks, update so it loads from that stack. And then what else? And then show all stacks in that top stack user row in list mode, right? And hide show the the document chooser, the stack chooser, when the user scrolls, taps it, right? Okay, I like that. I think that's right. That means we do want it to show stacks plist. I'm going to edit this real quick, get this screenshot out, and put in the updated one with the stacks plist. Cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, so it is a little after 2 a.m. Last night I was up until 4:30 or 5 a.m. and I want to not do that again. So I'm actually going to call the stream here and head to bed. But thanks everybody for hanging out and nerding out with me for a little bit. Click follow if you want to get notified, if you want emails whenever I stream. It's pretty haphazard. I've done it for the last 3 days in a row. But before that, it was like a month ago, right, that I streamed. But I'm going to try to average about once or twice a week. Or Phil, 3 a.m. for you. Yeah, so you're, what's that, East Coast? Yeah, time for bed for sure. Me too, 2:15, time for bed. But I enjoyed it, guys. Thanks for hanging out. And I will see you hopefully tomorrow or whenever I stream again. So take it easy. Thanks, guys.